A warm welcome to you. Today we're going to be looking at two diary entries from a Japanese student of mine who's now back in Japan. She wanted to send these to me for me to mark, and I thought it'd be an instructive exercise for us to look at it together and take a look and see if we can find any patterns of problems that we can address as we go along. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So I've printed out two handwritten notes onto the piece of paper here. And we'll go by and read it sentence by sentence. So I went to a furniture store to buy a storage shelf. It was assembly acquired. Okay, required, pardon me. So we've got this phrase, assembly required. So if we look at this phrase, this is something that's sort of written on the box or written on the product. So when we want to talk about something that's a unique feature or something that's written on the product, put it in inverted quotation marks, assembly acquired. Required, sorry. Assembly required, right? We can also say it required assembly in a normal subject-verb-object sentence. Both of these ways achieve the same thing. So it was assembly required, or it required assembly, so I had to assemble it. Okay, obviously, right? Actually, I'm bad at this kind of things. I'm bad at this kind of things. So things is a countable noun. But this is a singular. So thing is in plural. So we need to change the word this to our plural demonstrative, these, right? So I'm bad at these kind and probably kinds, these kinds of things. So I asked my mother to help me. Everything was going well until the middle, but I attached the board on opposite side. When we're talking about sides in English, left side, right side, we want to use the preposition the left side, the right side, because it's a unique place on an object or in a location, right? There's only one left side, there's only one right side. And in the same case here, there's only one opposite side, board on the opposite side. So I removed it, then attached again. Not too bad, I would just put another it there. I removed it, then attached it, meaning the board again. It was hard, but I could get space to store my stuffs. So the word stuff is actually uncountable in English. So we have two words to mean the same thing. We've got the word thing, which is countable, and we've got the word stuff, which is uncountable. But they can be used in basically the same way as long as you observe the grammatical principles at play here. Where are all my things? Where is all my stuff? Same sentence, but we're using a different word, right? So we need to change the be verb to reflect that. Where are for things, where is for stuff. So we get rid of the S on stuff. I'm really happy with that. Okay. That, what is that? The product? Maybe it's better to say I'm really happy with it, meaning the shelf. Right? I haven't finished organizing. Spelling on organizing, O-R-G-A-N-I-Z, or S if you're Australian or British, I-N-G, organizing. My room yet. I have to do it tomorrow as well. Okay, that's a very nice diary entry. So we're coming to the next day, which is the 8th, a Wednesday. Continuing from yesterday, I organized my room. I found my textbooks and notebooks, which I used when I was a high school student. Okay, good. I looked back some notebooks. So when we use the when we use the verb phrase look back, we look back at something, or we look back in an emotion. Don't look back in anger, like that Oasis song. Here we're looking back at something, so we need to put a preposition in here. I looked back at some notebooks for English class. It reminded me of Reminded me my high school life. So again, this is a verb phrase, reminds something, somebody, of. So we want to have that preposition there. Reminded me of my high school life. Actually, I didn't really enjoy class, so my handwriting was messy because I sometimes sleeping during a class. Okay, maybe it would be better to say I sometimes slept. I sometimes slept during a class. And also I found diary for English lesson. We need to kind of quantify the diary. What we usually do in English is to put the indefinite article a. I find this is a common problem with a few Asiatic languages, Japanese, Mongolian. Both seem to have this issue with that they don't put an article where an article needs to be in English. So most of the time when you're talking about one of something and you're introducing it for the first time in your conversation, you need to use the word a. The first time I've seen the word diary in this diary entry, so we want to see the word a. Now the next time she mentions the word diary, she can use the word the to talk about the diary that she's already mentioned. But for the first mention, we want to use a. For English lesson, one English lesson? Maybe English lessons, pluralize that, right? I had to write it down, but it was awful. I thought I should have studied harder, sure. My life might have been better, nice. However, I'm really satisfied with current situation. There's only one current situation, it's a unique thing. So we say the current situation. My brother finally entered high school. Congratulations to him. So I don't want him to be like me, honestly. All right, very nice. As I said before, Japanese students generally have some difficulty with the articles in English. They just don't, and Mongolians too. Japanese and Mongolians don't seem to be able to know how to put articles into sentences very well. So it looks a bit disjointed, as we've seen with some of these examples here. So if you were a Japanese student or a Mongolian student and you really wanted to improve your fluency in a straightforward way, a good piece of advice might be to study how we employ articles in English and endeavor to do as much practice as you can to incorporate them into your normal speech and normal writing. So let's quickly go through what we've put on this whiteboard here. So assembly required, this is a specific phrase that you can see on things, on furniture, for example. So if it's a specific phrase, put it in inverted commas. Or retool the sentence to a subject, verb, object. It required assembly, which is how we would say it. And the difference between countable and uncountable versions of stuff and things. So thing is a countable version. We can pluralize it. 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, 4 things. Stuff, pardon me, is an uncountable version. We can't pluralize it. And grammatically, it will be similar to it. So all conjugations with stuff needs to be like you are conjugating an article, a object or a subject, it. So that's it for today, guys. It was a very well written diary entry, and I really commend the person for writing so well. I hope to see you next time. Thank you.